As women business owners and leaders, our health is directly related to the success of our companies, right? The reality of entrepreneurship and leadership, it's a hectic lifestyle, right? Taking care of the business, our teams, your families, your parents, volunteering your time, often putting yourself last on that to-do list, especially now when, you've got children at home that you are homeschooling and everybody is at home, your partner, your husband, everybody is in one place and you can't find a moment for yourself. And, so even myself, for many years, I've been keenly aware of that correlation between business owners and leaders and health. And during this pandemic, it has become very apparent that health is wealth. So much so that, as we're all pivoting at this time, WIPP certainly had a great strategic plan for 2020, and we're finding that we're on track, kind of in a bad way, right, that we're having to do some of these things. But one of the main reasons why it's so important for me and the start, if you will, of our Mind, Body, and Business initiative here at WIPP is because we have to have these conversations, right, around health, our mental health, our physical health, and the intersectionality of that with our business. And so today is going to be the first of many conversations to come around this topic. I am super excited because I am joined by two health experts and powerhouses who are focused on both mental and physical health. Put your mask on first is something that we hear all the time. But are we really taking heed? And do we really truly understand the importance? And so our guests are going to shed some light on this mantra for us. I'd like to introduce you to a very, very dear friend of mine, and that's Brenda Loeb, CEO of BCL Teams, a company that provides a platform where like-minded women entrepreneurs can really support each other's growth and well-being through the exchange of ideas, shared experiences, and growth opportunities. I also have to tell you that, I've known Brenda for many years, and I can tell you she is greatly accomplished and really a force to be reckoned with in the wellness and fitness industry. She is a sought-after SME. She has owned many, many businesses, sold them successfully, and so she is really our powerhouse from the health care perspective and fitness, wellness and fitness. Joining her is Dr. Karen Wolfe, a former family physician in Australia where she was born and where she also served as the medical director of the Australian Government Health Services. Prior to or after that, Dr. Karen moved to the U.S. in 1991, where she's launched her successful wellness and mindfulness practice, which led her to publish 7 books and be awarded with so many pieces of recognition that we would take about an hour to talk about those. But I am so happy to be joined by Brenda and Dr. Karen. Welcome to you both.
Thanks, Candace.
As a reminder to our attendees, you've had your questions coming in. Please continue to do that through this segment as well. And we're just going to dig right in. Fear and anxiety are plaguing us right now. I don't care, even if you think you're made of steel, you have still are thinking about what's going on and how you're going to handle things. During this unprecedented time, how important is it for us to maintain our mental and physical health? Dr. Karen, I'm going to start with you on this one.
Great, Candace. Thank you. I'd love to address that. And hello to everyone. I send you my love and blessings and hope you are taking good care of yourself. And that's what I'm here to do today for a short amount of time. And I'm actually going to start with talking about what Candace said, fear and anxiety and emotions. It's something we don't give a lot of discussion about, but I do believe in the mind-body connection. And at this particular time, I wish I could ask every single one of you a very simple question, and that is, how are you feeling? And that is something I am starting my meetings with, actually. I do a lot of Zoom meetings myself, and we start our meetings saying that. How are you feeling? And we just create space for that. No judgment, just create space for that. And I'm here to talk about that in this first few minutes with you, that our emotions are energy in motion, and they need to move. One of the things I am super concerned about now is the mental and emotional state of individuals, of communities, of families, of companies, of countries, and we're not talking about it enough. And it is so important for us to acknowledge our feelings and our emotions, because what we don't talk about gets stuck, and it creates dis-ease in our bodies. So I want to just give you permission to allow feelings to happen, just allow them to be. And yes, we've gone through a lot of loss. And actually one morning, a couple of weeks ago, and I do a lot of work with clients over the phone or Zoom, and what came to me was remembering in my psychology training the stages of grief. Some of you might have come across this by Elisabeth Kubler-Ross, who has since passed now, but she wrote about these stages of grief. And it came to me that, yeah, that's what we're experiencing now, grief and loss. We're experiencing a lot of loss of normalcy, loss of work, of financial loss, of connection, and loss of a sense of freedom. And we're grieving the loss of some of our roles in work and in our family. So I want to talk today about starting from a place where we have universally shared experiences, because even though we're doing this ourselves individually, we have this universal experience of grief. And it is really good to give it a name. And by naming something, it takes away a bit of its power, and it allows us to move through it. So I'm going to take the beautiful work of Elisabeth Kubler-Ross and her 5 stages of grief, and she worked with a man, David Kessler. And if you're interested in an amazing book right now, he wrote, since Elisabeth's passing, David, who worked with Elisabeth, wrote a book about meaning. And this would be the 6th stage of loss. And it's really given me a lot of help at this time of looking at meaning as I'm passing through this. So let's look at some of these stages. And please know these are not linear. They're never meant to be linear. And they're certainly not a map at all. I kind of consider it a scaffolding, something that we can hold and identify. And I speak to you as an individual, just like you are dealing with this right now, and I identify myself in many of these feelings, in and out of them. So the denial phase was something that we started off with, which says, no, this is really not too bad. It's just like the flu. We're really over-exaggerating. That's denial. And then we can't start to say, okay, this is going on a little while. So the 2nd stage is anger. Anger can be a very powerful feeling. It's a way for us to hold on to control. And rather than accept the problem, we turn a little hostile. We blame other people, or we engage in power struggles. Sometimes we refuse to follow the rules. Anger can feel very powerful, but then it can drain us as well. And so then we start to bargain. Okay, so maybe if I just wash my hands, I can go and visit with people that also wash their hands. So it is a way that we still want to hold on to a bit of control, that bargaining. And I've done this. I identify all of these stages in myself. And another one was, okay, I'll social distance for 2 weeks, but then everything will be fine, right? And I'll get back on an airplane. I'll get back to my business. Everything will be okay. It was a way that I was able to deal with it early on. And now we're seeing this thing going on and really not sure what is going to happen. And so now is a particularly vulnerable time, if I could just say that. It's a time that I want you to take extra good care of yourself, because this next stage is when we start to fall into some despair, depression, some darkness, where we start to feel, well, maybe my business will never be the same again, and I don't know what to do, or I can say goodbye to my hopes and dreams. This is a time to really practice self-care at a very high level, and to just recognize those times. I had my birthday in this period, and boy, it hit me like a ton of bricks. There was something about that just, whoa, it threw me for a loop. And I was teary, I was down, and I realized, okay, I just need to be with this and move through it and take extra good care, which in the second part of my talk, I'm going to give you some tips, things that I do, and I speak to you very personally here as much as with all of my background of what I am doing to take really super good care of myself. And then there's this fifth stage that Elisabeth talked about, which is where the power is, as you can imagine, at some level of acceptance. And I think we're all at that level at some point where we're looking as these calls offer us such empowerment to say, okay, what can I do? How can I take action? How can I take care of myself? How can I reach out and help other people? This is a time of acceptance that it's really, really happening. And David Kessler, bless his heart, that brought this sixth stage that I just love, this meaning. That means, okay, maybe this teleworking can actually help long term. Maybe I'm more productive in some ways by working remotely from home. Maybe my relationships are deeper, and I do feel that with my family is really recognizing and treasuring relationships in a whole new way. It doesn't mean the thing itself is all good, because it's not, but it's finding little pieces of meaning in this journey. And these 6 stages have really helped me, and that's why I spoke to Candace. I thought, this would be a very helpful thing to bring to you today. Maybe it can help you with some kind of scaffolding to recognize, feel your feelings, which is super important, share them with a trusted source, and just identify, oh yeah, there I am. And emotions move, so by calling it out, moving it through, it can really, really help. And I certainly can't fix this for you, I can't fix it for me, but I can give you some psychological perspective of our collective experience that we are all going through. And it is really time to overprotect ourselves with self-care and not overreact, overprotect, and help normalize something that we're all going through. And so I leave you with this thought that please give yourself some time for anger, some time for denial, some time for bargaining, bit of despair, and ask for support. And later I'll supply with you with some specific ways to take really good care of yourself.
Thank you so much, Dr. Karen. I really appreciate that. I love that overprotect portion. Brenda, I know that physical health is of paramount importance. And with our time that we have, I really want to get through some of these amazing exercises and things that you have that you're going to talk to us about, right? And particularly that we know that there's scientific evidence on the benefits of moving, right? And we just need to take heed of what we know to be true. And so what do you say to a woman who finds it hard to say that, she can't find a half hour for herself daily due to obligations, to work out? So, Brenda, I'm going to turn it over to you for this one, because I know you have given me really great advice in the past around physical fitness and the importance of moving at my desk during illness and such. So can you share some of these desk movements and stretches and shoulder squeezes and all of the amazing things that you provide to us as a wellness and healthcare professional?
Sure, Candace. Well, it's interesting. Your question about time, I can't tell you how often people say, I just don't have time to exercise. And now we have more time than we know what to do with. So one of the things I want to just say is we must decide to make ourselves a priority. Your health and well-being has to come first, like never before. And as a fellow business owner, of over 30 years, the priority is the same as if you were preparing for proposal presentation to win a contract or new business. So this is what I want to make sure everybody listens and hears. You need to put the same commitment that you put in preparing for the presentation. And if it's in person, we all take care of our hair, our makeup, our nails, our outfit, and we practice the presentation. And so we need to do the same kind of commitment with our own self-care and health at this stage in the game. We need to set ourselves up for success. Set a goal of 30 minutes a day. Schedule in a meeting for yourself. And even if it's 5 minutes, you want to go to the next slide. 5 minutes up to whatever your daily goal is, but definitely 30 minutes a day. And some people are doing counting steps. And, the latest research says 10,000 steps a day. And some people are starting at 5,000 and work up to 10,000 steps because of benefits. But look at the tips on this slide. And you have a handout that you'll get later as far as a link. But the most important thing, because we're sitting at our desk, Candace, way too long, and the average for Americans is 10 hours a day, believe it or not. And so make sure that you're ergonomically safe, so you don't have any unnecessary pain and aches with your neck and your shoulders and your back and your hips. So make sure you are set up correctly. Make moving your body a priority, and you're going to hear it has to be important to you. Schedule an appointment to stretch and move throughout the day. And I think you should stand up more than you ever have now that we're home to answer phone calls or listen to webinars. And then, like I said, one of the things that I encourage all of you is think about just daily 30 minutes of walking a day. So let's try some stretches. Let's all stand up. Next slide. So let's stand up and raise both arms to the ceiling and clasp your hands together and hold that for approximately 10 seconds, and you can count 10 to yourself, breathing comfortably. You never want to hold your breath when you exercise. So bring your hands back further behind you if you can and hold the stretch. Excellent. Okay, relax. And let's just do it one more time. Same exercise, hands up, overhead. Hold it for 10 seconds. You feel the stretch. Because remember, when we're sitting at our desk, everything brings us forward. Now we got to bring our shoulders and chest back. Okay, relax. Okay, now let's look at one other stretch. There's one more, where you're going to put your hands now standing up. Now put your hands behind you. Different little stretch, but now I want you to bring your hands as further up your body as you can, keeping your posture straight, standing up straight with your ears over your shoulders, standing up straight, and hold that for 10 seconds, not holding your breath, breathing comfortably. Excellent. Okay, now and relax. So we have, on the next slide, you'll see that Lynn put together a nice link that there's a beautiful handout for 5-minute stretches. And what I recommend is that you can break up the stretches throughout the day and give it to your team and your family and your kids so you all can be stretching and moving together. And then also as a handout to check your workstation to make sure that you're aligned properly, because you don't want to have pain and discomfort during this time, because really the key is to move your body to help you reduce the stress, because we know that physical activity will help you minimize your stress. And the key, though, is consistency.
Wow. Thank you so much, Brenda. That was awesome. I literally said, oh, that feels so awesome. I tell you, Brenda is literally the best to me. Absolutely. And doing that is something that I've been encouraging our team to do as well, right, to take some time for themselves. Karen, I want to switch back over to taking care of our whole selves. In the short time that we have left, can you go through your Karen's S factors, if you will? And then I want to remind everyone as you're coming on to talk about the Karen's S factors, that the information that Brenda shared, we have that on our website. We've put the link in the chat box, and we're going to make all of this available to you because we do want you to take care of yourselves. And as both Dr. Karen and Brenda have been so generous with their time, they're also being very generous with their resources. Dr. Karen, I'm going to turn it over to you to talk about, really briefly, your Karen's S factors.
Oh, you bet, Candace. I feel really good with those stretches, too. I'm standing up talking now. And the good news is I do have a ebook on 12 tips to boost your immune system, which this is included in. So that's good, too. People will have something to take away. And these S's are my highlighted factors to really support your immune system. And sleep is right at the top there. Candace was talking to me about when you heard once that sleep deprivation is like torture, and it is mentally and physically. Without sleep, we cannot think clearly. We have brain fog. We have lethargic. Our appetite increases. We need a good night's sleep, and I know that's easier said than done. One of the things you can do that's the most important aspect of sleep with the short time we have is have a routine, a regular routine. You're hearing a lot about that at this time. So your body gets into this rhythm of sleep, and having some good sleep hygiene, such as having a warm bath before you go to sleep, turning off the TV, stopping coffee if that affects your sleep. And melatonin, what I'm hearing about melatonin, not only does it help with sleep, but it supports a healthy immune system. So sleep is right on top of my list. And then, of course, do I have to talk about stress? One of the things I'm using a lot with my clients is a technique called box breathing that Navy SEALs use at times of high anxiety. It's super, super simple. It's just taking a breath in. You count to 4 with your breath in. You hold it for 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Take a breath out for 4. Hold it for 4. It's like a box. What it does is it engages the parasympathetic nervous system, and it switches down the stress response. That is super, super helpful. And don't forget about music as also a great stress reducer. In terms of sugar, remember that good whole foods at this time to feed our body really good nutrients is so, so important. Excess refined sugar can really create brain fog and sleep disturbances. So up your veggie intake, think about your healthy snacking, and really be mindful of your total sugar intake. Supportive relationships, I am not using the term social distancing. I use the term physical distancing because we need connection. It is so important at this time, and I have extra concern about people being isolated at this time for emotional and physical reasons. And in terms of supplements, remember your gut has most of your immune system, 60 to 80%. So good digestive health, which includes all the things we've talked about, taking a good vitamin D supplement and getting some sunshine if you can, and a good probiotic and probiotic foods. And what I've been hearing is zinc does have some protective factors. So in my ebook, I talk a little bit more about the supplement factors. So those are my S factors, and you can find them all in my ebook.
That is awesome, Karen. I have to tell you, I fell in love with Karen's S factors when we first talked. I've known Karen for a while, but we got re-engaged when we were talking about this session, and so I'm super excited. She's got, both of them have a lot of great information to share with us. When we were talking, I asked them to challenge us to something. And I want to talk to both of them about what is this one challenge that they want to give us for moving forward as we take care of ourselves mentally and physically. And so, Brenda, I'm going to start with your challenge, and then we'll move on to Karen and her challenge, along with the information about her book and some other closing information. But please share what your challenge is for us, Brenda.
Okay. So it's really something that I promote all the time. 30 minutes every day, not 3 times a week. Every day, do something 30 minutes. TME is 30 minutes every day. And then you could also say time for me. So 30 minutes every day. And one more thing I thought of is I challenge you to listen to the lyrics of the song A Brand New Day by Diana Ross. It is so timely, and I think you will see that it will help you mentally to increase good feelings about where you are and what we have to look forward to.
That is awesome. I love it. TME, 30 minutes every day, and you told me to promise to schedule that 30 minutes on my calendar, and I promise you I already have them scheduled for the next several weeks, so thank you for challenging me on that one. Dr. Karen, awesome. Tell us about your challenge to us as well.
Well, right along with Brenda, I would encourage you to schedule, if it is 30 minutes a day, CPR. It's something that I've been talking about in my stress management talks, conscious, powerful relaxation. And CPR it is conscious because you've got to actually schedule it, and it could be the 30 minutes. And it's powerful because it engages the parasympathetic nervous system, the relaxation response. So things that I do, I would go out for a walk in nature. So that'll get the 30 minutes of Brenda's TME and make it a relaxation exercise. Or I use the Calm app to listen to some relaxing music, or call a friend, because social connections can really engage those oxytocin hormones. And I also have inspirational poems that I read from time to time that really uplift and inspire me, because we need hope at this time, and we need inspirational words to remind us that this too shall pass, and our job is to take care of us at this time.
Absolutely. It's all about that putting our mask on first, right? And I want to thank you because you have been so generous in providing us your ebook. We're going to have that on our website. Certainly, Laura has included that link as well for both of us, for everyone that's in the session. I just cannot thank both of you enough for the tips you have given us today, for the time that you have spent with us. And I hope that you will accept my invitation to come back and talk to us again sometime.